I'd like to spend a little time in this recording just as an introduction to workbooks. So a workbook is the document that Excel creates. And a workbook is like a three-ring binder. It can hold a lot of worksheets, which would be roughly equivalent to the pages in a three-ring binder. You might have one sheet in a workbook. You might have 100 sheets in a workbook. So a workbook is the container holding worksheets. I'll talk about worksheets in another recording. So the workbook has a name, and it's the Excel document, and the name is found at the top. So you can see in my diagram there's something called Book 1, which is basically the generic name until you give it your own personal name. When I look up at my actual document I'm working with here, I see the name up top called Excel Level 1, etc. Okay, so a workbook has a document name. A workbook can be closed, and there's a little shortcut close button here, and I'll point it out in my actual version of Excel. I'll be going into these in more detail in subsequent recordings. Each workbook can be made up of one or more worksheet tabs. So I see in the diagram Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3, they have not been renamed. And in my actual workbook down below, I can see I've got a series of named worksheets. I'm on the Workbooks worksheet. I've got a data worksheet. I click on that, and I can go back and forth between them. Okay, so I've got worksheet tabs down along the bottom. So you can see in this particular workbook, I might have 8 or 9 or 10 different worksheets. Okay, more on that coming up. There's also navigation buttons. So to the left over here, I get to see navigation buttons, movement towards the right and movement towards the left. And I'll be covering a little bit of this. I think I'll cover it now. If I right-click on the navigation buttons, I get to see a shortcut menu, and it lets me jump right to any worksheet that I want. So a very convenient way of navigating around. So if I want to go right to the File tab worksheet, I can go there. I right-click on any navigation button, and again, I'm emphasizing right-clicking in this course, and you get the shortcut menu, allows you to jump directly to any worksheet you'd like. Okay, so I've got navigation buttons, worksheet tabs, and one more thing I'll point out is the split bar. And that's this little icon right here on this horizontal bar. So I've got the worksheet tab names to the left, I've got a horizontal scroll button to the right, and I've got a split bar. When I put the mouse pointer on the split bar, the mouse shape changes to a two-headed arrow pointing left and right. And when I see this, I can now apportion the amount of room I want to give to the horizontal scroll bar and how much I want to give to the worksheet tabs. So again, I bring the mouse pointer to that split bar and I can drag it left and right. So this is a brief introduction to the workbook interface. And I can see I've got multiple sheets in it, sheet 1, 2, 3 in this particular diagram. And in the next several recordings, I'm going to go a little bit further into working with workbooks.